Honey, you won't believe what I found in Mama's old cookbook. Grandma Ruby's voice crackled through the phone, sharp as a whip and twice as lively, cutting through the Sunday afternoon haze. Her words tumbled out like apples from an overturned basket. It's a recipe. Well, it looks like one, but it's all wrong. 3 cups of moonlight, a pinch of shadow. What tarnation does that mean? On the other end, Ellen, Ruby's eldest, sighed loud enough to rattle the line. Ma, you sure you're not just misreading her chicken scratch again? Last time you swore she'd written dragon tears when it was just dried time. Don't you sass me, Ellen Marie. Ruby shot back, her tone a mix of indignation and glee. She was already pacing her creaky kitchen, the linoleum groaning under her sensible loafers. Her silver hair bounced in a loose bun, and her apron, dotted with faded cherries, swung like a pendulum. This ain't no typo. It's a code, I'm telling you. And it's tucked right between the peach cobbler and that go-doffel prune cake she loved. I need you and Tommy over here pronto. Bring that nosy neighbor of mine, too. Lila, with the big hats. She's got a nose for secrets. Ellen Gronet. Ma, I've got laundry up to my eyeballs, and Tommy's probably hung over from poker night. Can't this wait? No, it cannot. Ruby snapped, slamming the cookbook shut with a puff of floury dust. This is family history, girl. Prohibition era shenanigans, y recon. Your great-grandma wasn't just baking pies. She was hiding something big. Now get over here before I drag you myself. An hour later, the kitchen was a circus. Ellen slumped at the table, her dark curls frizzing from the spring humidity, picking at a chipped mug of coffee. Tommy, her younger brother, sprawled in a chair, his lanky frame all elbows and knees, nursing a headache with a glass of water and a scowl. Lila, the neighbor, perched like a peacock in a wide-brimmed hat dripping with feathers, her eyes glinting behind cat-eye glasses. So what's the big emergency, Ruby? Tommy muttered, rubbing his temples. You find a treasure map in the pie crust. Don't you start, Thomas James, Ruby said, wagging a wooden spoon at him. She plopped the cookbook on the table, a relic of yellowed pages and grease stains, its spine cracked like an old riverbed. Look at this. Right here, moonlight pie. Ain't no such thing. 3 cups of moonlight, a whisper of dusk, and, get this, stir under a veiled sky. That's no recipe. That's a riddle. Lila leant in. Hier hat Fites brushing Ellen's cheek. Oh, my stars, Ruby, you're on to something? My granddaddy used to talk about coded messages from the rum-running days. Folks had all sorts of things, booze, money, even love letters in plain sight. Maybe your mama was a bootlegger. Ellen snorted, crossing her arms. A bootlegger? Grandma Ruth? She couldn't even sneak a cookie without giggling like a schoolgirl. Don't be so sure, Ruby said, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial hush. She tapped the page with a knobby finger. She was a sly one, my mama, always fussing with her recipes, muttering about keeping things safe. I thought she meant the crust, but what if it was more? What if this pie's hiding a secret that could turn our whole family story upside down? Tommy perked up, squinting at the page. Wait, hold on. Veiled sky. That could mean night, right? And moonlight. Maybe that's moonshine. Like the hooch kind. Exactly. Lila clapped her hands, her bangles jangling like wind chimes. Oh, Ruby, your mama was a genius. Hiding her liquor tricks in a cookbook, pure poetry. Ellen rolled her eyes but couldn't hide the spark of curiosity flickering in her hazel gaze. Okay, Fine. Say it's a code. What's it lead to? We're not exactly swimming in family heirlooms here. Ruby grinned, her dentures flashing like a crescent moon. That's what we're going to find out. Grab that shovel from the shed, Tommy. And Lila, you fetch your magnifying glass. Ellen, you're on coffee duty. We're pulling an all-nighter. By midnight, the kitchen was a war zone of coffee cups, crumpled paper, and wild theories. Ruby had dragged out a trunk from the attic, a beast of cracked leather and rusted hinges, spilling with moth-eaten shawls and sepia photos. Tommy, now wide awake, was scribbling notes, his scruffy beard dusted with pie crumbs from a test batch gone wrong. Lila pored over the cookbook with her magnifying glass, muttering about hidden stitches in the binding. Ellen, despite herself, was flipping through old letters, her frown softening with every faded word. "Look at this," Lila crowed, holding up a photo of Ruth, young, sharp-eyed, standing by a Model T with a sly smile. "She's got a jug in her hand. That's no lemonade. I'll bet my best hat." Ruby snatched it, her hands trembling, not from age, but from the electric thrill of discovery. "That's her, all right. My mama, the Pie Queen, and maybe the Moonshine Queen too. But where'd she stash it? The recipe's got to point somewhere." Tommy tapped his pencil on the table, a rhythm like a jazz beat. "Okay, listen, stir under a veiled sky. What's veiled around here? The old barn's got that tarp roof, right? And it's near the orchard. Moonlight could mean the apple trees." Ellen sat up, her voice sharp. "The barn? That rickety thing? It's half-rotted. Nobody's been in there since Dad died." "Exactly." Ruby's eyes blazed, bright as a bonfire. "Perfect place to hide something. Come on, grab your coats. We're digging." The barn loomed in the dark, a sagging silhouette against the starry sky. Wind whistled through the gaps, carrying the sweet rot of apples from the orchard. Tommy swung the shovel, grunting as it bit into the packed earth beneath the tarp. Ruby held a lantern high, its glow dancing over Lila's hat and Ellen's skeptical frown. "Ma, this is nuts," Ellen shouted over the wind. "What are we even looking for? Just keep digging, Tommy." Ruby hollered back. "It's here. I can feel it in my bones." Clang! The shovel hit something hard. Tommy dropped to his knees, clawing at the dirt with his hands. Up came a metal box, small, dented, locked tight with a padlock green with age. Ruby gasped, clutching her chest. Lila hooped, feathers flying. Ellen just stared, her breath fogging in the chilly air. "Open it," Ruby urged, her voice a mix of command and plea. Tommy used the shovel, pry it. With a groan of metal, the lid gave way. Inside, nestled in oilcloth, was a tiny ledger. Names, dates, dollar amounts, and a single mason jar, its amber liquid glinting like liquid gold. A note fluttered out, scrawled in Ruth's looping hand. "For my Ruby, keep the family fire burning." "Moonshine," Tommy whispered, holding up the jar. "She was a bootlegger." Ruby sank to her knees, tears streaking her weathered cheeks. "My mama, she didn't just bake pies. She kept us alive through the hard times, the lean years. This is her legacy." Ellen knelt beside her, softer now, her hand on Ruby's shoulder. "And we're here to carry it on, Ma. All of us." Lila Tipitia hut, grinning. To Ruth, the pie crust queen with a rebel heart. Under the veiled sky, the family stood together, the barn creaking around them like an old song. The recipe wasn't just a secret. It was a bridge linking past to present, a testament to grit and love baked into every flaky layer. And as the moon shone down, Ruby knew the story wasn't over. It was just beginning. "Ma, you cannot keep entering that pie contest every year." Ellen barked, slamming a laundry basket onto Ruby's kitchen table a week before the cookbook discovery. Her voice was a taut wire, stretched thin from juggling 2 jobs, bookkeeper by day, diner waitress by night. At 42, Ellen's dreams of opening her own cafe had curdled like old milk, buried under bills and a divorce that left her with a leaky roof and a teenage son who barely spoke. "You're 78. Retire already. Let someone else win for once." "Retire? Ah." Ruby shot back, her hands wrist-deep in dough, flour dusting her apron like snow on a cherry orchard. She'd been the town's pie queen since '68, when she'd outbaked Widow Jenkins with a crust so flaky it made the judge cry. Widowed young, Ruby raised Ellen and Tommy alone, her kitchen her kingdom, her rolling pin her scepter. "I'll quit when I'm dead, Ella Marie. This crust, it's my legacy, your great-grandma Ruth's gift to me. Ain't nobody stealing that." Ellen rolled her eyes, her frizzy curls bouncing. "Legacy? It's pie, Ma, not the Declaration of Independence." Meanwhile, across town, Tommy was slouched at the bar, nursing a beer and a bruised ego. "I could have been somebody, you know," he grumbled to his poker buddy, Pete, his voice rough as the stubble on his chin. At 38, Tommy was a dreamer stuck in neutral. Once a high school football star with college scouts sniffing around, now a mechanic with grease-stained hands and a rap sheet from a bar fight gone wrong. Had a scholarship lined up, full ride. Then that damn knee blew out, and poof, there went the NFL. Now I'm fixing carburetors and losing at cards. Pete smirked, dealing another hand. You still got that wild streak, Tom. Why not chase something big? Open a garage, be your own boss. Yeah, right? Tommy snorted, tossing a chip into the pot. With what money? Ma's got her pies. Ellen's got her responsibility. Shtick. I'm the screw-up, remember? Just waiting for the next hand to fold. Next door, to Ruby. Lila was pruning her roses, her wide hat shielding her from the sun and the neighbors' gossip. Oh, my Harold used to say I'd dig up trouble wherever I went, she chirped to her tabby, Mr. Whiskers, who blinked lazily from the porch. At 65, Lila was a widow with a flair for the dramatic. Once a seamstress for a traveling circus, now the town's eccentric with a closet full of hats and a phobia of silence. She'd moved next to Ruby 5 years back, dreaming of writing a memoir about her wild days stitching sequins for lion tamers. But Ruby's pies? They're magic whiskers. I'd kill to know her secret. Maybe it'd spice up my book. Mr. Whiskers yawned. Don't you judge me. Lila huffed, snipping a thorn. I've got stories, big ones. Just need a hook, something juicy. Back in Ruby's kitchen, the day before the discovery, she was flipping through Ruth's cookbook, her gnarled fingers tracing the faded ink. You were a firecracker, weren't you, Mama? She murmured, her voice soft as a lullaby. Ruth had died when Ruby was 20, leaving behind a legacy of recipes and a quiet strength Ruby clung to through lean years, when the factory closed, when her husband's heart gave out, when the kids drifted. Ruby's dream? To keep the family tethered, to pass down more than just crust. What's this now? She muttered, squinting at the odd moonlight pie page. 3 cups of moonlight. Ruth, you sly fox, what were you up to? The phone rang. Ellen, nagging about groceries. Ruby grinned, tucking the mystery away. Tomorrow, kids, she whispered to the book. We'll see what you're hiding. And so, Ruby's stubborn pride, Ellen's buried hopes, Tommy's restless itch, and Lila's thirst for a tale collided that Sunday. The cookbook cracking open a past none of them saw coming. Each carried their baggage. Ruby's iron will, Ellen's quiet ache, Tommy's faded glory, Lila's flamboyant curiosity, right into the thick of a conspiracy baked in love and rebellion. The lantern flickered as Tommy held the mason jar aloft, its amber glow catching the awe in Ruby's eyes. Moonshine, he crowed again, grinning like a kid with a winning lottery ticket. Grandma Ruth was a legend. Ruby clutched the ledger, her voice trembling with triumph. She kept us going, kept the whole town going, I bet. Look at these names, half the county's in here. Ellen, still kneeling in the dirt, snatched the note from the box. Keep the family fire burning. What's that supposed to mean, Ma? She's handing you a torch or something. More like a Molotov cocktail. Lila laughed, her hat feathers quivering. Oh, Ruth was a spitfire, running hooch under the sheriff's nose. Ruby, you've got outlaw blood. But before Ruby could answer, a sharp crack split the night, wood snapping somewhere deep in the barn. Tommy whirled, shovel raised. What the hell was that? Probably just the wind, Ellen said, brushing dirt off her jeans. This place is falling apart. Let's get inside before it collapses on us. No, wait, Lila hissed, her voice dropping to a stage whisper. She pointed her magnifying glass toward the shadows. I saw something move, over there, by the hay bales. Ruby squinted, lantern swinging. A raccoon, maybe? There's sneaky little Ma. Shut up. Tommy cut in, his tone jagged. He stepped forward, boots crunching on straw, and then froze. Oh shit, that ain't no raccoon. A figure stumbled out from the dark, a wiry man in a tattered coat, his face weathered like old leather, eyes wild. He clutched a rusty crowbar, waving it like a baton. Back off, he barked, voice raspy as a dry creek bed. That box is mine, Ruth owed me. Ellen jumped up, hands on hips. Who the hell are you? This is our barn, buddy. Name's Virgil. He spat, jabbing the crowbar toward the box. Virgil Tate. My pa ran with Ruth back in the day, delivered her shine all over the state. She promised him a cut. and I've been waiting 50 years to claim it. Ruby blinked, clutching the ledger tighter. Tate? Wait a minute. There's a Tate in here. J. Tate, 20 jars paid in cash. That your pawn? Damn right. Virgil snarled, stepping closer. And that jar's the last of it. Worth a fortune now. Vintage hooch like that. Hand it over, old lady, or I'll pry it out of your cold hands. Tommy bristled, stepping between Ruby and Virgil, shovel raised. You want to try that, huh? Touch my ma, and you'll be eating this blade. Stop it, both of you, Ellen shouted, shoving Tommy back. We're not brawling over some dusty booze. Ma, is he for real? Did Ruth stiff this guy's family? Ruby flipped through the ledger, her fingers shaking. I don't know. Look, here's another entry. J. Tate, 10 jars unpaid. Oh, lordy, she might have. But why'd he wait till now? 'Cause I only just found out. Virgil snapped, his crowbar trembling. Been tracking her trail. Heard you yapping about that cookbook all over town. Figured you'd lead me right to it. Lila gasped, clutching her hat. You been spying on us? Oh, that's low. Even for a vulture like you. Call it what you want, Virgil sneered. That jar's my inheritance. My pa died, bro, 'cause Ruth double-crossed him. I'm taking it, and you can't stop me. Tommy lunged, but Ellen grabbed his arm. Tommy, no. We don't even know if he's lying. He's not getting it. Tommy roared, shaking her off. This is ours. Ruth left it for Ma. Not some creep with a crowbar. Ruby's voice cut through, sharp as a knife. Enough. Everybody just stop. She held up the jar, its liquid sloshing like a storm in a bottle. Virgil, you say this is yours? Prove it. What's in this ledger better back you up, or you're leaving empty-handed. Virgil smirked, lowering the crowbar an inch. Check the last page, sweetheart. Pa wrote it himself. Ruth's debt, 1 jar, sealed 32. I ain't no fool. Ruby flipped to the end, her breath catching. He's right. It's here, in different ink. Debt to J. Tate. Oh, Mama, what did you do? Ellen stared, her voice tight. Ma, you're not seriously giving it to him? After all this? I don't know. Ruby snapped, her eyes blazing. This changes everything. If she owed him, if she cheated him, then what's our legacy worth? A lie. Lila piped up, her tone bright but shaky. Oh, come now, Ruby. Maybe she meant to pay him. Times were tough. Don't let this ruffian ruin her story. Her story's already ruined. Virgil laughed, a harsh, grating sound. She was a crook. Face it. Now gimme that jar before I take it myself. Tommy tightened his grip on the shovel. Over my dead body, asshole. Wait, Ellen shouted, stepping forward. Nobody's dying tonight. Look, Virgil, if this is legit, we'll figure out. But we're not handing over squat till we know the truth. Ma, what else is in that ledger? Anything about Tate? Ruby scanned the pages, her voice faltering. Hold on here. J. Tate caught skimming, cut off 31. Skimming? That means he was the cheat, not her. Virgil's face twisted. That's a lie. She framed him, covered her own tracks. Or maybe your pa was a thief. Tommy shot back, grinning now. Looks like Ruth outsmarted him. And you. The air crackled, tension thick as fog. Virgil lunged for the jar, but Tommy swung the shovel, knocking the crowbar from his hand. It clattered into the dirt, and Virgil stumbled back, cursing. Get out! Ruby bellowed, her voice a thunderclap. You got no claim here. Not till I sort this mess. Ruth's my blood, and I'll decide what's hers. Virgil glared, panting, then spat into the straw. This ain't over. That jar's mine. I'll be back. He bolted into the night, leaving the barn echoing with his threat. Ellen sank against a post, exhaling. Great. Now we've got a lunatic after us. What's the plan, Ma? Ruby clutched the jar, her jaw set. We dig deeper, find out who's lying, Ruth or Tate. This ain't just about booze anymore. It's about family, and I'll be damned if I let some ghost from the past tear it apart. Lila adjusted her hat, eyes gleaming. Oh, Ruby, this is better than my circus days. We got a fight on our hands. Tommy nodded, shovel still in hand. Let him come. We'll be ready. Under the tarp roof, the wind howled, and the jar glinted like a challenge. The night had turned their treasure hunt into a showdown, one that would test every thread of their fraying family tapestry. Rain lashed the orchard 2 nights later, turning the ground to a soup of mud and apple rot. Ruby stood under the barn's sagging eaves, the mason jar cradled in her arms like a newborn, its amber heart glowing faintly through the storm. The ledger was tucked inside her coat, pages curling from damp. Tommy flanked her, shovel propped on his shoulder, rain streaking his face like war paint. Ellen paced, her boots squelching, while Lila clutched an umbrella that flapped like a wounded bird. "He's coming," Tommy muttered, eyes scanning the dark. "Bastard said he'd be back, and here's the storm to prove it." Ruby's voice cut through the wind, steady as a lighthouse beam. "Let him come. I've been reading that ledger. Every line, every scratch. Ruth didn't owe nobody nothing. Virgil's pa was a snake, and I'll prove it." Ellen spun, her curls plastered her cheeks. "Ma, this is insane. We're standing in a damn hurricane over a jar of booze. What if he's got a gun this time? Then we fight." Ruby snapped, her dentures flashing like lightning. "This ain't just booze, Ellen. It's our name, our blood. You want to let some lowlife rewrite it." Before Ellen could argue, headlights sliced through the rain, a pickup truck, rusted and rattling, skidding to a stop. Virgil leapt out, coat flapping like crow wings, a pistol glinting in his hand. "Told you I'd be back," he bellowed, voice a gravelly roar over the thunder. "That jar's mine. Hand it over, or I'll paint this barn red." Tommy stepped forward, shovel raised like a knight's lance. "Try it, you son of a bitch. I've been itching to bury something tonight." "Tommy, no." Ellen grabbed his arm, her voice cracking. "He's got a gun. We're not dying for this." "Listen to her, boy," Virgil sneered, aiming the pistol at Ruby. "Old lady, you've got 3 seconds. One, stop," Ruby shouted, stepping into the rain, her silver hair a wild halo. She held the jar high, water streaming down her arms like tears of the sky. "You want it? You want to know what's really in here? It ain't just moonshine, it's truth. I found a letter in the ledger. Ruth wrote it, sealed it shut. Your pa didn't just skim, Virgil. He sold her out to the feds." Virgil froze, the gun wavering. "You're lying. She's covering her ass." "Am I?" Ruby's voice rose, a crescendo against the storm. She ripped the letter from her coat, its ink bleeding but legible. "J. Tate turned rat. 32. Fed took half the stash. I paid his debt in silence. She let him live, Virgil, spared his sorry hide. And you repay her with this?" The wind howled, tearing at the tarp roof, and for a moment, Virgil's face crumpled, rage warring with doubt. That's bullshit. Pa said she cheated him, left him with nothing. Then he lied." Ruby roared, stepping closer, the jar a beacon in her hands. "She gave him mercy when he deserved none. This jar? It's her last laugh. Proof she outsmarted him, kept her family alive while he rotted in his greed." Lila's umbrella snapped shut, and she yelled, "Oh, Ruth was a queen, Virgil. You're just a pawn clawing at her crown." Virgil's gun shook, rain dripping from the barrel. "Shut up, all of you. I need that jar. It's all I've got left." Tommy lunged, but Ellen yanked him back, screaming, "No, let Ma finish him." Ruby took another step, her eyes blazing through the downpour. "You've got nothing, Virgil, 'cause you're chasing a ghost. Ruth's fire burns in us. Not you. Take your shot, or crawl back to your hole." Thunder cracked, splitting the sky, and Virgil's resolve shattered. The gun dropped into the mud with a wet thud, and he staggered back, voice breaking. "Damn you, damn all of you. She ruined us." "No," Ruby said, soft now, a whisper against the storm. "She saved us, and you're too blind to see it." Virgil sank to his knees, rain pooling around him, a broken man drowning in his own bitterness. Tommy lowered the shovel, chest heaving. Ellen grabbed Ruby's arm, pulling her back under the eaves, her voice a sob. "Ma, you could have died. Why'd you do that?" "'Cause I had to," Ruby said, clutching the jar, her face a map of wrinkles and resolve. "For Ruth, for us. This is our fight, Ellen. Our victory." Lila clapped, her hat sodden but her spirit soaring. "Oh, Ruby, you're a lioness. A storm tamer. Ruth's proud tonight. I feel it." Tommy grinned, wiping rain from his eyes. "Hell yeah, she is. We're tougher than moonshine, Ma. The storm raged on, but under the barn's trembling roof, the family stood tall, drenched, defiant, bound by a legacy forged in fire and rain. The jar gleamed, a fragile relic of a fierce woman, and Ruby knew the conspiracy was theirs to claim, a triumph carved from the chaos of the past. Virgil's truck roared away, swallowed by the night, leaving only the echo of their voices and the pulse of their unbreakable bond. The rain softened to a drizzle, the storm's fury spent, as Virgil's truck vanished into the dark. Ruby stood under the barn's eaves, the mason jar still clutched tight, its glow a stubborn ember against the fading thunder. Tommy kicked the mud where the gun had fallen, his voice rough but triumphant. "He's gone, Ma. We smoked him." Ellen, soaked to the bone, grabbed Ruby's shoulders, her hazel eyes fierce. "You scare the hell out of me, Ma. What if he'd shot you? What then?" "Then I'd gone down swinging." Ruby shot back, her dentures glinting like a warrior's grin. She held up the jar, raindrops beating on its glass like tiny jewels. But he didn't, cause Ruth's truth hit harder than any bullet. "We won, Ellen. We won." Lila twirled her soggy hat, laughing like a kid at a carnival. "Oh, Ruby, your force of nature." Virgil didn't stand a chance. Ruth's spirit knocked him flat. Tommy slung the shovel over his shoulder, grinning wide. "So what now, Ma? We keep the jar, crack it open, and toast the old girl?" Ruby paused, her gaze softening as she traced the jar's curve with a trembling finger. No, we don't drink it. This ain't for sipping, it's for keeping. Ruth left it for us, a piece of her fire. We're putting it on the mantle, right where it belongs." Ellen frowned, wringing out her curls. "The mantle? Ma, it's moonshine, not a damn trophy. What if the cops sniff it out? Let him try." Ruby snapped, her voice a spark in the damp air. "It's ours, proof of who we are." Ruth didn't just survive Prohibition, she thrived. And we're going to honor that, not hide it. Tommy nodded, his lanky frame straightening. "Yeah, Ma. I'll build a case for it, glass, lock, the works. No one's touching it again." "Good boy," Ruby said, patting his arm. "And Ellen, you're writing it down. Every word of that ledger, that letter. We're telling the real story, not Virgil's lies." Ellen sighed, but a smile tugged at her lips. "Fine, Ma. I'll play historian. But you're buying the ink. I'm broke from all this digging." Lila clapped her hands, bangles jingling. "Oh, I'll help. I got a typewriter, vintage, just like Ruth. We'll make it a book, Ruby, a family epic." Ruby chuckled, the sound warm as a hearth fire. "A book, huh? Well, why not? Ruth deserves her spotlight. But first, home. I'm freezing, and this jar's not warming my bones." By dawn, the kitchen was alive again, steam curling from coffee mugs as the family huddled around the table. The jar sat center stage, its amber glow catching the morning light like a captured sunrise. Tommy hammered nails into a makeshift frame, muttering, "Gonna make it shine, Ma. Better than any museum piece." Ellen scribbled notes, her voice sharp but fond. "You're crazy, Ma, but I get it now. Ruth wasn't just a baker. She was a fighter. Like you, like us," Ruby corrected, sipping her coffee, her apron swapped for a dry sweater. "She gave us roots, and we grew thorns." Virgil's done, skulking off with his tail between his legs. With the one standing. Lila leaned in, eyes twinkling. "And what a stand. I'll call it the Moonshine Matriarch, Chapter 1, The Night We Faced the Storm." Tommy laughed, setting the jar in its new case. "Lock it tight, Ma. That's our gold, family gold." Ruby turned the key, the click of final note in the night's wild symphony. "Locked and loaded," she said, her voice a mix of grit and grace. "Ruth's safe with us, forever." The rain had stopped, the orchard glistening outside, and the kitchen hummed with their voices, lively, unbroken, a chorus of victory. Virgil's threat was dust, swept away by Ruth's legacy and Ruby's fire. The jar gleamed, a testament to a family forged in secrets and steel, its story sealed not in shadow, but in light. "So, let me get this straight," Ellen said, leaning back in Ruby's kitchen chair, the mason jar gleaming in its new case on the table. "Ma, You found a weird recipe in Grandma Ruth's cookbook, dragged us into this mess. And it turned out she was a moonshine queen? Ruby grinned, her silver bun glinting in the morning sun. That's right, honey. Moonlight pie wasn't pie. It was code. We dug up that jar and ledger in the barn, proof she ran hooch during Prohibition. Kept the family afloat when the world was crumbling. Tommy chuckled, tapping the glass case. Then Virgil showed up, crazy old coot with a gun, claiming Ruth owed his pa thought he'd steal our treasure. Oh, he tried. Lila piped up, her hat feathers bobbing. But Ruby faced him down in the storm, read him Ruth's letter, proved his pa was the rat, not her. He slunk off like a whipped dog. Ellen shook her head, a wry smile breaking through. Yeah, Ma stared down a pistol like it was nothing. We kept the jar, locked it up, our piece of Ruth's grit. Virgil's gone, and we're still here. Damn straight, Tommy said, raising his coffee mug. Ruth didn't just bake pies, she built us. And we fought for it. Ruby's eyes softened, resting on the jar. It's more than moonshine, it's her heart, poured out for us. We're stronger for it, every one of us. The room fell quiet. The jar's amber glow a silent hymn to Ruth's rebellion and love. Outside, the orchard stood tall, roots deep, branches wide, a family unbroken, their story sealed in victory. To Ruth, Ruby whispered, and they all nodded, the echo of her fire burning bright.